With the dawning of the Tokugawa Shogunate and Japan's Edo period, the Southern Sea Road, known as the Tokaido, served as the major thoroughfare between the political capital of Edo, modern-day Tokyo, and the imperial city of Kyoto. The road became the subject of literature, trade, folklore, and numerous guidebooks. It was also the subject of a number of series of woodblock prints, which illustrated the 53 stations of the approximately 300-mile journey. Along the Tokaido were government-sanctioned post stations consisting of porters, horse stables, lodging, food, and other points of interest maintained by the daimyos of that area. The shogun used the road to keep strict control of the daimyos, as well as a route to pass their messages. The standard method for traveling was on foot, horseback, and palanquin. Other freight was carried by porters, who were often exchanged for fresh replacements at various stations. Heavy freight was sent by boat. Travelers were often carried across water by either piggyback or palanquin. Women were forbidden to travel alone, and for some time traveling permits were needed by everyone. However, many restrictions were loosened or ignored as the shogunate began to wane. The shogunate developed a system of alternate attendance to Edo for all daimyo. The system assured loyalty to Tokugawa, which demanded them to spend an allotted time in the capital at their own expense. In addition, wives and families were essentially kept hostage in Edo, while the lords were back at their fiefs. Journeys were also made annually to Kyoto to bring gifts, traditionally horses, to the emperor. Hiroshige was allowed to join one of these journeys in 1832, presumably due to his samurai status. He is said to have filled numerous sketchbooks during that trip. Upon returning to Edo, his sketches were transformed into paintings, which turned out to be the basis for the Great Tokaido. This wasn't the first series of art that publishers turned into woodblock prints, but it is regarded as the first set where the landscapes themselves became the subject matter. They came at a time when the government censors were cracking down on prints of frivolities, such as courtesans, actors, and the like. The prints were an immediate success and were the turning point of Hiroshige's career. What's more, they prompted the use of the Tokaido by more of the common people. Depictions of inns, restaurants, scenic vistas, shops, and other curiosities opened up a world to those who had no access to it previously. The cost of these prints were said to be equivalent to a bowl of rice, and essentially were like the picture postcards that we know of today. As Edo grew from a fishing village into a metropolitan city, the commerce that was needed to support it traveled along the Tokaido, and the political climate in Japan began to change with the artwork. The first railroad appeared in 1863, changing everything. The original road has largely been replaced by high-speed railroads and highways, but sightseers can still take tours of what remains of this important era of Japan's history.